Hello. This can be a very common case when you will want to update map or set string in a project without duplicates. This is a problem I had to solve and I want to share my solution with you that may help you save time. Update item is not a complicated connector, but the situation can be more complex when you want to avoid duplicates. If you don't already have any knowledge about the DynamoDB connector in MuleSoft, check out my playlist where I describe almost all possible configuration for different connectors. The first example will be string set. The best advantage of string set is that they have a built-in input validation mechanism and don't allow duplicate values. In the configuration, the first we need to specify the name of the table. Next, the key. In my case, it will be the value taken from the URI parameter. In update expression, we will use the action add. In most cases, set is recommended, but with string set, we have to use add. The column name is hp1. The reference specified in attribute names. Column vol is a reference to the value that will be retrieved from the payload. Remember to specify SS, which means a set of strings. Now we can test. In my table, I have one record with ID equal 1. In the permissions, I have one element access 1. Now I want to add the same value. Will it be possible? Let's test. I got correct response with response code 200. The value was not duplicated, so it works fine. Now I will add access to, but all time in my query will be the data that is stored in this column. Correct response. I will refresh my table and look, access to was added without any problem. Now let's check the new simple value, access 3. And the value is appended without overwriting the values that are stored there, so everything works fine. The second advantage of string set is that we can update more elements in one call. When to my request I add new values and call then in database, it was appended without duplicates. Now a few words about map. Map has a specific key and value. The key must be unique. I created a map table with permissions, where the key specifies the name of the permission and the value specifies the current status. When you want to update one map element, the configuration will look like this. Most of the parameters it will be the same settings as in the earlier case, so I will skip that. What will differ is the update expression, where we now have to use the word set and then compare a specific key with a value. Remember that we need to create an expression that describes a specific key. If I want to update a permission with a key equal to permission 1, I need to create an expression that references that key. It will be permissions.permission1. In the configuration, I need to do the same thing by reference. hashperm.hashKey, where hashperm is permissions, which is the name of the column, and hashKey is a reference to the key in the payload table, for example, permission1. The value is also retrieved via a colon value reference from the payload. That's all the configuration. Time for testing. I will update my key permission1 with value perm11. I will send request, response correct. I will refresh my table and now you can notice new value. So it works fine. In the above example, I described the case of updating a single element, but what should the configuration look like when we have multiple elements to update, which should be updated in a single call? With help comes for each. The configuration is almost the same. In for each, we need to specify the array, after which we'll iterate. In my case, it will be payload.permissions. I added a set variable element to my flow, which stores the value of ID in a variable. Previously stored it in parameters, but in for each scope, parameters such as URI params are forgotten. The update expression inside update item remains the same as before, only the reference to payload should be updated. Now in a single iteration inside for each, our payload will be a single item from the array, which will look like a single item. So the key reference will look like this, and the value reference will look like this. And that's it. Now we can update all the elements in one request. I will value key permission 1 with value perm11, permission 2 with perm22, and permission 3 with perm33. I will set request, response is correct, I will refresh my table, and I can notice new values. Okay, works fine. Look at the situation when I add a new item to my request and send that. In DynamoDB, I can find a new item as a new value. Updating the item connector updates the value when it exists and insert the value when it doesn't exist. Sometimes this can be an advantage, but in some cases this action is undesirable. How to avoid inserting a value if it doesn't exist in database? With the help comes conditional expression and the function attribute exists. In the conditional expression, we need to set attribute exists, where inside the function we give a reference to the key. Now, when updating, the condition will be checked first. If the condition is met, then the element will be updated. If not, then an error will be returned and processing will be stopped. So we need to wrap update element inside try catch. In error handling, use on error continue so that processing will not be stopped. Let's check in debug mode how it works. I will try to update my permission with a new value. The key is permission 5 and value per 555. I will call. In debug mode, step by step, we can see what's going on inside. Now we are in for each scope. And the first element was updated with success. The second also, third, fourth, and fifth with error, because the fifth element not exist. So condition was not met. Based on that, we know that flow working properly. I will check my database, I will refresh. Okay, all items which exist was updated without permission 5. I hope these few examples will help you better understand how DynamoDB connectors should be configured. If you have questions or concern, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. Thanks for watching, bye.